My wife is big into that brand Pact, and I didn't know they made menswear. So, oh yeah, check it out because they have this sale going on. So I got 2 shirts. The other one's a linen blend. Just because it's hot. It's hot here.
So
I
you
need
can
lightweight.
luxuriate in the wind.
Like, well, dude, that blue shirt, it's like you don't even feel like you're wearing a shirt. It's great, which is good because this weekend it's going to be 113.
Get ready, enjoy that 113 before you fall into the ocean.
I mean, yeah.
It was, my air conditioner here in the house. We got a new one put in last June. It was exactly a year ago. It was June 27th. Something's going on with it. It's like there's water going all over the place inside.
Inside what?
Like around,
inside your house?
Yeah, like around the furnace area, like it all goes into like the unit itself. The AC unit is outside.
Oh, okay.
Because
ACs have the condenser on them, so I mean
something's happening.
Water dripping is normal outside,
but there's like a lot of water.
Okay.
Inside.
Okay.
Not alarming, and not an alarming amount of water, but more so than it deserves to be showing. And
have you considered calling a professional?
Yeah, they're coming tomorrow.
Okay.
And I think they got to fix it for free because it's like we got to have some sort of like multi-year warranty on this thing, right?
Yeah.
But the thing, it's like it hasn't been getting cooler in here. It's just been running constantly. And I opened up my Sense app, which is like a Sense thing that like goes in my power box, and it tells you how much like electricity you're using. We got it because we got solar panels, and they put that in there so we can see how much energy we're producing from the solar, how much of the house is running off of solar power, how much we're sending to the grid. And I opened it up and it says your energy consumption has spiked by 104% in the last 24 hours.
So your AC is just running nonstop, but
it's just running nonstop, and it's actually it's like we try to make it like 70 in here, right?
Oh my God.
And it was just like stuck for like the last 24 hours at like between 73 and 78.
So my mind is just blown that you're having your house cooled down to 70. Like,
why is that?
Because like we leave our AC programmed for 78.
Okay.
And I'm spending like $400 a month at least on electricity just to have it be 78. I'm not even sure I could get my house down to 70 if I wanted to.
Well, I would be okay with 78. My wife is like real crazy about like does not like to be like too hot.
Oh, see,
I'm the kind of person who likes to drive with the windows down.
Yeah.
And she will only drive around with the windows down until the AC is like blasting out cold air.
See, I think you and I have I'm like your wife and you're like my wife. Like my wife, anything less than 80, she's cold.
Okay, but I'm not even cold. It's just that I like the fresh air versus the air conditioned air.
It's a hard choice because I also I want fresh and air conditioned air.
Yes, if that's only possible, that would be nice.
Yeah,
but I would rather just like have the windows open, and I don't really complain about being too hot ever.
Yeah,
and like if she gets too hot, she's just like super super nasty all the time.
Wow. Well, we don't want that.
I'm just hot, and I just like want to go home. Leave me alone.
Wow, I get it. I hate being hot. And normally I can stay down here in the basement and it's okay, but when it gets as hot as it's going to be this weekend, it starts getting like muggy down here. I've noticed because I have a thermometer hanging up, so I can always see what's temperature down here. And like because we had the same problem, not last weekend, but the weekend before, like 4th of July weekend, it was like circus hot. It was like 112. And after a couple of days of that, I'd come down here and I'm like, man, it's not cool down here anymore. But I'd look at the thermometer and it was the same. It's just more humid down here. And I have this little like baby dehumidifier that I don't think is doing anything. It's like too small. Like it would dehumidify a closet.
And it's just like you're slowly just killing it. It's like having to work so hard all that time. And
well, no,
because
all it has is like a little, probably 2-inch square, like Peltier cooling thing and a fan. Like, I don't think it just runs nonstop because it's not hardly doing anything.
That's what I mean. It's just, it gets no reprieve from
punishment. It runs no matter what. Like, it doesn't have like a sensor in it or anything. It just, I don't think it's doing, I don't think it's big. It's not big enough to make a difference. But, normally, because where I live, there's never humid here, really.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't need like dehumidifiers down here. Otherwise, my electronics are going to get, because it's just not that humid here. Yeah. But when it's that hot here,
113,
right? Then all bets are off. Yeah.
Yeah. I have 2 dehumidifiers down here. One of them's like a roll around one.
Yeah.
And one of them just like is built into the wall and goes out like to this vent. And nice. I don't run them during the day, but when I put my
are they
basement
loud or?
to sleep, I mean, loud enough to be annoying. Yeah.
Okay.
But like when I put the house to bed,
like
when I go to bed and I like shut down the basement,
yeah,
they're both on smart outlets, so I can like shut down the basement and they will turn on.
Yeah.
And like run all night until I come down the next morning and wake up the basement.
Right. Well, that's nice.
So
but where you live, it's humid, right? Like if you go outside right now, it's pretty moist. Yeah, I would never be able to live like that.
Yeah.
I'm not used to it. I think if you grow up with that, then it's like, okay, I can deal with it. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know. It depends on how I feel about myself.
What does that mean?
I mean, if I've like gained some weight. I hate being hot and humid.
Sure.
Well, I mean, I don't mind being hot, but like the humidity will bother me a lot more if my like my thighs are rubbing together.
I get it. My coworker just came back. She went for a vacation. She went to Hong Kong for a month.
Dang.
On vacation.
Well, I guess if you're going someplace like that, you got to go for a month.
Well, plus she has like family friends that live there, so she stayed with them. Yeah. So she didn't have to worry about it. It's like as long as you're paying to get over there and you're not paying for room and board, you might as well stay for a whole month. But she said that the humidity there was crippling. That's not the word she used, but it's
I can imagine, especially like with that much concrete and steel and everything.
But I think that part of the world is just very Southeast Asia in general, and like, I mean, you hear stories about like how humid Japan is, and Hong Kong is closer to the equator. So I'm assuming that means it's warmer, maybe. I don't know. Is that true? I don't know. The point
think that's why people
it's humid everywhere over there.
Like besides the food being better for you, I think that probably also helps to contribute to people being skinnier just overall.
Well, can you eat when it's like really hot out? I just don't even want food.
Yeah. I mean, I would love yes, I would like that feeling.
Yeah. Although she said the air conditioning over there was second, and she said you had to wear a jacket indoors. The air conditioning was so like you should take your wife to Hong Kong. It sounds like she'd like it because of the air conditioning and the food.
I mean,
it's good food.
That reminds me, like when I lived in New York City, it got real hot and humid during the summer there. But you would walk down the street and you walk past like a restaurant or a store or a bodega or something like that. And it is like an Arctic blast, just like flying out of the door. Like it's unreal. You feel as though you could like just freeze in place.
Arctic blast, you said, was your favorite flavor of Gatorade, right?
No, is that blue?
No, you're thinking of Glacier Freeze, which is my favorite flavor of Gatorade.
Well,
Gatorade
like
Zero, of course.
Like Fierce. There's Fierce Grape.
Oh, Fierce Grape's a good one, but I think you can't get that one sugar free. I only drink the Gatorade Zero.
Only drink the Gatorade Zero. I was outside.
Don't drink your calories,
yesterday.
kids. That's what they say. Don't drink
exactly. I'd rather just
unless it's beer, or
enjoy the aspartame. Like whatever. What does it do? Like messes like. They say like the long-term effects of aspartame is like, I don't know, like memory loss or something.
I don't know, maybe. I mean, I don't know how much you have to, I don't drink, like that's the only, off the top of my head, that's like the only artificially sweetened beverage I can think of that I drink regularly.
Yeah. I mean, that's all we get to, like for our kids at least, because we will avoid giving them sugar.
Yeah.
Whenever possible.
Yeah.
But I was outside mowing the lawn yesterday. I was traveling for the last week on family vacation, and I came back and I was like, man, I haven't mowed the lawn because it hasn't rained very much here. But I was like, I don't think I mowed the lawn since the end of May because it's like only rained 2 times, and like even then barely at all. So it took a long time for it to get anywhere. But I came back from this trip and I was like, man, I got to mow the lawn. And I did it. And I was like halfway through and it was noon.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, I don't know if you can relate, but like with the sun beating down on me, I just like started getting like a pounding headache.
Uh-huh.
And we had some like other smaller Gatorade Zeros in the garage. Like my wife got like these like.
So like not cold.
Right. But I mean, they're as cold as like the garage stays fairly cold. Just in general. We got a new door put on last year and it's insulated, so it keeps like the coldness in. But there's it's not like a pallet of them, but like it is kind of like a mini pallet where it's just like a cardboard bottom and it has like a bunch of the bottles in it, and then it's like shrink wrapped around it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Like a case.
Like a case.
We would
but
normally
like
call that a case, I think.
I mean, a case, I think of like a box. This is just like a box.
I'm thinking
bottom.
like you go to Costco and you buy the big thing that you have to carry with 2 hands. Like that's
no. See, I just think of it like a case of beer is like a big 24 box of beer.
Yeah.
But okay, then in this situation, we'll call it a case of Gatorade.
I mean, you can call it a pallet if you want. It just sounds to me like you're overselling. Like a pallet of Gatorade is what you like send to Puerto Rico, to help
right.
the hurricane victims. That's a pallet.
A miniature pallet.
Okay.
But I just came in and they were sitting right there, and I drank like 4 of them because they're just the small ones.
All right, hold on. Important question then. Did you drink all 4 the same flavor, or did you?
No.
You went on
I had
a tour.
2 pink ones, 1 white one, and 1 blue one.
Was the blue one cool blue or glacier freeze?
I don't even know what flavor they were. I just know that I was not even thinking about it. I just knew that if I didn't have something to drink in that moment, I would probably die.
I don't know if anybody from PepsiCo listens to the show, but I want to talk for a minute about consumer confusion because like you've got 2 flavors of Gatorade Zero, right? You've got Cool Blue and you have Glacier Freeze. They're both blue. And I mean like, if you were to put them in Photoshop, the slider, the B slider is maybe over like one more increment for one than the other. They're almost indistinguishable. Yeah. You got to do something about that. You can't why do you have 2 blue ones anyway? How many people know?
Well, because,
look at what you just did.
If you just had that, if you had the 2 blue ones,
yeah.
I mean, you're just not going to just like throw one of those recipes in the trash.
No, but
like,
you can. It's artificially
good enough to
colored.
Right.
Because look at what you just did when I said, "Oh, what'd you have?" And you're like, "Oh, I had 2 pink ones and a white one." You don't know the names of the flavors, and neither does anybody else except me because I pay attention to stupid stuff. People just identify them by the color. You can't have 2 Gatorades that are the same color. And doesn't Glacier Freeze sounds like it'd be white anyway? Why am I not being paid by corporations for like my consulting services?
Well, I mean, it's just like it feels like common sense.
Oh, 100%. But obviously it's not. You shouldn't need me to tell you.
Somebody somewhere effed up.
You can't have 2 blue Gatorade Zeros. Idiots.
Yeah. How much weed are they smoking over there
right.
at PepsiCo?
Right. I mean, hey, man, that gives you the cotton mouth, and what are you going to reach for? You're going to reach for a Gatorade.
That's right. That's right.
Do you get, I mean, I don't mess around with that stuff, so like this is probably a stupid question, but I mean, if you take like edibles or something, do you get cotton mouth or is like a cotton mouth that's only from smoking it? What if you vape it? What if you vape it?
I don't know. I'll let you know.
Okay. Anyway,
I'm guessing probably.
All right. Okay. Anyways, So we didn't do a show last week, which we're claiming is to honor our nation's birthday. And we're a couple of days late this week, and that's because you went on a vacation.
Yes.
And then, you were telling me, yesterday or whatever, that you wanted to hurry up and record while all this stuff was fresh in your mind, which leads me to believe that on the 34th episode of Here's My Question for You, that you've got a bunch of stuff you want to talk about.
Oh, I mean, just talking about the trip in general. It was a good trip. We went to Niagara Falls, and then went to Buffalo.
Is there stuff if you go to Niagara Falls? And I'm not making a joke I'm just curious. Like because it's a pretty big, I thought, or at least it's commonly thought of as a big tourist destination.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you do there besides just look at the waterfall? That can't be it. I mean, are there like walking trails you can like go on, or museum? Can you get in a barrel and go over the side?
There's touristy stuff like that to do. But what we did is we went camping in Niagara Falls also. Not like at the falls, like 10 minutes away or something. We stayed at a KOA.
Oh, yeah.
Just,
do you know what that stands for? I always see that everywhere, and I'm like, I know it's a campground.
Well, I asked my wife, and she's like, oh, it means like Campsites of America. I'm like, how come it has a K? And she's like, I don't know.
Sounds racist.
It does. It does.
Like anytime you have any word in your place to see with a K, my eyebrow's going up. Is that Is that a dog whistle, or is that just like Krispy Kreme? What are you doing, Krispy Kreme? I don't trust you.
Yeah.
Also, your donuts are overrated.
Very close.
Yeah.
Very close to the edge. But we stayed at this KOA. So we
crispy crunchy chicken, same thing. Sorry, just popped in my head.
We stayed at this KOA, and this was a decision to do after our camping trip a couple of weeks ago,
right?
When we stayed in a tent that was the size of a small apartment. And
that was the camping trip where you came and told a whole story on the show about how you thought it'd be more fun if your kids weren't there, even though your kids listen to the show, right?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Right. So that we stayed at this KOA, and we got like a cabin this time because I think.
Oh, so you went glamping.
Well, no, it's like an empty cabin. It had a bunk bed and a single bed in there, and like no bathroom. You have to go to like a centralized bathroom for shower and bathroom.
Okay, that's not glamping at all then.
It did have an AC in it though.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So we stayed in this because I think we decided after our last trip that while we liked the idea of it, we decided that this would probably be a better approach because we basically like get in really bad moods
because
when we're doing it the other way, and we end up just fighting. We all just fight with each other, and our fuse is like microscopic.
But what's
the
only difference here is you have like a bare bones cabin with AC. Is that the distinction is between that versus a gigantic Costco tent?
Yes.
Okay. Because I can imagine, especially where you live, if it's that humid, I wouldn't want to be in a tent either.
Right. Well, this was up in Niagara Falls though, so it was
that means nothing to me. It's not humid in Niagara Falls.
It's not. It was not that humid, but
okay.
When we were there, we were lucky because it was 91 degrees during the day, which is fairly warm. But we stayed in this, and still we kind of fought a whole bunch.
Wow.
And I think that after this, so when we left the KOA, we went down to Buffalo to see some friends, and we got a hotel, and we didn't fight at all. Then we went to my hometown of Jamestown, New York, and stayed in a hotel. Didn't fight at all. Had a great time. The kids like swam in the pool.
Yeah.
Had an awesome time.
Maybe you just shouldn't be camping, it sounds like.
Well, I mean, that's what we said.
Yeah.
We said, because we're going to go to take a trip out to Yellowstone next summer. And that's like 10 days.
You should stop by and say hi. I mean, you're like halfway here at that point. I mean,
halfway. That's like 2 straight days, 2.5 days or something like that in the car. And it doesn't sound like that bad, but all I'm thinking is that is a lot of iPad time for the kids, and they're going to be insufferable when we get out of the car.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, why don't we just like look into just getting hotels instead, because it's just, I think we're just like a lot happier. We like
Yeah.
the idea of camping, and I think that we would be better off and like doing it with hotels until like the kids are like a lot older.
So you think they're the issue?
Yes.
Okay.
Because, you know, just especially after going to the falls, like we spent all day there. It was 91 degrees. We went on the Maid of the Mist, which was amazing.
Oh, isn't that like what Jim and Pam got married on in The Office? Was that kind of deal? Right? That's like the boat that goes like right up to the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like so much power.
I can imagine.
It's kind of amazing how much power there is. And the kids were just like loving it. There's like all this like, we were getting soaking wet, but they gave us like ponchos to wear.
Yeah.
And it's just like getting whipped around. Like my daughter was initially nervous about it, but she had the best time once we get down there. But like just like all, like that, and then just like kicking around at Niagara Falls all day. By the time we got back, we were just like, like leave me alone. Like this didn't want to. It was like a chore to like just get the campfire up and running so that we could make s'mores. Which
nice.
I got to ask you a question.
Sure.
When it comes to like roasted marshmallows, do you like it when they're like real burnt?
Yeah.
Me too.
Like
too, but nobody else does.
If
so
they're
I'm
not
like,
crispy on the outside, then like what are you doing?
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's so much effort to just get them perfectly.
In fact, what I like doing is I like getting the outside all burned, and then because s'mores are fine. I'm not dragging s'mores, but like I'm just fine with roasted marshmallows.
Yeah,
but
me
I
too.
would always burn them, and then I would just slip off. Instead of eating the whole thing, I would slip off the burn part and just eat that, and then stick the rest of it right back in there and burn it again.
Yes.
Someone should sell that, just like burned marshmallow foreskins. That's what you should call them.
That'd be the hottest new item for the year.
Yeah.
Flying, we can't keep those burnt marshmallow foreskins on the shelf. They're just flying off.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do? We got to make more. But yes, I mean, like, I could care less about the actual like. Even though I love graham crackers, not a big just like straight chocolate fan.
Yeah, you said it gives you a stomachache or something, right? Chocolate.
Yeah, it makes my face
I was going to send
like
you C's candy, and then you told me about how it gives you distress. So I didn't.
Yeah, well, it just makes my skin feel like it's like sticky.
I mean, I like all the ingredients of s'more. I like s'mores flavored things. Remember when we were kids, there was s'mores breakfast cereal.
Yeah.
Or you can get the Quaker Chewy granola bars that are s'mores flavor. All great.
Yeah.
But as far as making actual s'mores,
yeah, I could really care less.
And I'll chow down on some graham crackers. That's good stuff.
Yeah. Just like a whole sleeve or something like that. If you're just
especially the cinnamon sugar graham crackers. Like I'll just eat them, or the regular ones too. Like any graham cracker is good.
Yeah, like one of my favorite like fat guy treats.
Yeah.
Like the thing that I'd only eat if I like had no self-esteem is to put like, sometimes when my wife makes like a cake or something like that for the kids for their birthday, she usually has like a bunch of this buttercream frosting left over. She puts it in like a Tupperware and just like sits in the back of the fridge, and it's fine. Like I like it when it's kind of crunchy a little bit like that, but I just take it, put it in the microwave for a split second, and I just like spread it all over graham crackers.
All right. I mean, I've never tried that. I'm not a huge frosting
That's what I do
guy,
when I have no self-esteem.
Yeah.
That in my other thing like that is to take cream cheese and put it on salami and roll it up.
Oh, see that? Now you've got my attention. I'm not really into the other thing you said, but salami and cream cheese, I'd be all about it. Because I mean, cream cheese. I think a lot of people associate cream cheese mostly with sweet stuff,
right?
But I mean, that's what's in a jalapeno popper.
Yeah.
So I mean, it totally makes sense that it would be good with salami.
Yeah, it's amazing. You just like
see if you did a low carb diet, like if you went like one of those keto diets, then you can eat as much salami and cream cheese as you want. Really,
I'm thinking about doing that because it seems like no matter what I do,
Hey, man, I lost like 60 pounds doing keto. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I was doing keto. I'm like a keto hipster. I was doing keto before it was cool.
When you were doing keto when it's called the Atkins diet.
Not that long ago, but I mean, it was in like 20, it was probably 10 years ago, 2013, 2012, something like that.
When I did the Atkins diet when I was in college,
yeah,
it like didn't go well.
No?
It went fine for a little bit, but then it did something to me and I had to have my appendix removed.
Are you sure that's not just a coincidence?
Well, they said that it can they told me, the doctors that in the year 2001 told me that was it could give the impression of a hot appendix. Like,
well, on the bright side, now you don't have the appendix anymore to get in the way. So now you can probably go buck
Although,
wild.
like I was pretty big. I got a big scar across my abdomen from it because they had because I was so big, they had to like really cut deep through me.
That's kind of cool though. You have a scar, like, because you don't have to tell people that's how you got it. I mean, that could be from a bear, for example.
It could be from a bear, but it definitely looks like an incision that was made by a scalpel. And
I don't know. I don't think if you showed me that, I don't think I'm not smart enough to be like, oh, that's a scalpel incision right there.
Well, you might be surprised.
Yeah.
But, I had to have that done. Anyways, I don't even know how we got here from there. Whatever. With s'mores.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I did want to talk about how when we went to my hometown, I did contact the people that live in my mom's old house, and we went.
You all went?
We all went.
Okay. And they were cool about it?
Yes.
Like, oh, come over.
They were very, very nice about it.
Yeah.
And like I didn't know if I was emotionally prepared for it.
Yeah.
So I was going back and forth, and I was like, you know what? Let's just do it.
Yeah.
And it was like not really that difficult at all. Mainly because they had to do so much work on it that there's so much different now that it almost didn't feel very familiar.
Yeah.
Certain aspects did, like there's still like the same bathroom sink, and like my bedroom, still has still has the same light on the ceiling. And it was weird because it hasn't been that long since I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
It was I don't know, like 8 years ago is when my mom moved out.
Oh.
So it doesn't seem like it's not that long ago, really. So I was an adult.
Yeah.
With kids when I was there.
Yeah.
And I was just surprised at how small it feels now. Weirdly, it just feels small. I think that's
probably because you're a celebrity, don't you think? And then you go back to something like that and you're like, how did I ever live like this?
No, I think it's just because the ceilings are so much taller, and like the house that I've lived in, like the previous house had really tall ceilings. This one kind of has tall ceilings, but that was not the case. I did hear some like horror stories though about like the work that they had to do.
Oh no.
On the house. Just because, like the house is old. I mean, it wasn't that old, but it's just like after my brother and I moved out, my mom was working 2 jobs, and she retired when she was still living in that house. But I don't feel like she kept things in order, but there's a lot of like repair stuff that probably did not get done when it should have.
Yeah.
So that it I found out that the house used to be completely different, and the house that I know as had my bedroom and like our living room and everything was all an add-on, where the living room used to be like a 2-car garage. And I did not know any of this stuff. But I don't know, there's some dead raccoons like in the chimney. There was some snakes in the wall.
Live or dead?
Alive.
Oh, okay.
So it's like there's a lot of trees around the house, so it'd be very easy for snakes to get on there. Like anything. Like what happened was like there's like maybe some squirrels or like mice in the walls.
Sure.
Like would go up the tree, get on the roof and like work their way in.
Yeah.
And the snakes just followed the food.
Yeah, it's
really.
like a smorgasbord in there.
Yeah. So when they knocked down, so when you walked in before, it would be like on your left, you'd have stairs going upstairs, like a stairway. And then there's a wall along that. And you go into the kitchen and you take a left and you go into the living room from there. And they knocked out that whole wall. So you walk in and the living room is like immediately right there, which is
so the staircase is still there, but you're saying you can just see under the staircase into the living room. Is that what you're saying?
And they added a little bit of an extension onto the front also, so that you can just walk in and it's like the living room's right there and you have the kitchen right ahead.
Yeah.
It looks really, really nice. But they said when they knocked down that wall is when
the snakes
they found
and
the
raccoons
snakes and they were like, I don't think they were spilling out, but
so not like an Indiana Jones in the, what was that? Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom? Where was that when they were? Oh no, that was
Raiders. That was Raiders.
Yeah, that was Raiders.
With the snakes.
Yeah,
with all the snakes.
Jask, what kind of snakes?
Like it's creepy sounding, but
yeah, like rattlesnakes or like
no, they're just gardener snakes,
boa constrictors.
Yeah, the largest snakes you can think of,
anaconda
are all in there.
Yeah.
It was an unnaturally large anaconda.
You ever seen an anaconda?
They knocked down the wall and it was eating Ice Cube.
Oh my God! Have you what? Why is Ice Cube catching strays out here? Did you have you ever seen an anaconda like in person?
No.
Like I like snakes. Like I'm not one of these people like, oh, snakes. Like snakes are cool, I think. But I went to like the San Diego whatever zoo, and they have like an anaconda, and it's behind glass. Obviously, that was unsettling. And I say that as somebody that has spent significant time around venomous snakes, including freakishly large ones. The anaconda, that was a whole other thing. That like, not a fan.
Like that, like you were like scared straight at that point.
I wouldn't say scared, but it was just like it's just like looking at it and it's giving me the heebie-jeebies.
Was it just like,
I'm like
so big?
Yeah, it's just really big and it just had this, I didn't like it. And I used to have a Burmese python, which those are not, that snake was like 10 feet long that I had.
You had one?
Yeah.
You owned one?
Yeah.
Like you had a...
Yeah.
Jeez.
And because, here's the thing. Anybody out there, please do not buy Burmese pythons. They're not, you shouldn't have that as a pet. They're not even from here. They tell you actually in the name where they're from, and that's not here. Although technically now it's Myanmar. But people get them when they're small, and they're like, oh, this will be cute. And then they get big. That's how I got it, is it was somebody else, because I had like normal size snakes. And someone's like, oh, can you take my Burmese python? I don't know what to do with it. And I'm like, I guess, just to give it a home. But, we ended up finding it a better home. But you shouldn't have that as a pet.
Yeah, you kind of strike me as somebody who would have like a big snake in your dorm room or something.
Yeah, well, it wasn't there. It was when I was still living at home. But I mean, she was so big we had to let her out of the tank because the tank wasn't big enough. So we would just let her like free range in the living room, and and we had this big picture window, and she would not climb, but she would slither, I guess, up onto the sun herself, because snakes are, cold blooded. She would get up on the windowsill of this big picture window, but it wasn't long enough to hold her whole body. So it's like half of her, not half, but a lot of her body be hanging off the backside of the windowsill because she's just trying to get like as much of her body into the sun as she can.
This didn't like freak you out or anything? You're just like,
nah, she was cool. She was pretty chill.
Did she have like their venom removed or anything like that? Did she have venom?
Pythons don't
venomous?
Have they don't have the venom.
Okay. So how did you get back into the
You just like big snakes, especially big ones, are pretty chill. You just pick it up and okay, we're going to go over here, and they're like, all right,
yeah,
whatever.
You ever just like think about how much of a pain in the ass it is to have a snake?
Like, I didn't want the snake. I was trying to do something nice. It's like, I'll give this snake a home for a while.
Did you ever at any point consider taking like maybe a shovel and just...
Absolutely not. What's wrong with you? What a horrible thing to even say.
Just it would be a shovel, right? I mean, or like maybe an axe.
I don't think my axe skills are up to,
When you got like
snuff on
a
that.
few inches of a blade. But if you take a shovel, you could just.
No, yeah, I agree. But I mean, this thing, you understand this this snake's neck was like at least as big around as my forearm. You're talking about probably bigger. You're talking about like a snake that's like 10 feet long. You're not just like thunk with a shovel.
Yeah, you'd have to, unless you're like working out.
You'd have to wind up and then like bring it down like something.
Like
you're planting the flag on the Mount whatever and on Iwo Jima, you know.
Or you're putting the Master Sword back in its pedestal.
Yeah.
In the Lost Woods.
Yeah.
It's like the reverse Excalibur.
Anyway, we don't really need to keep talking about that.
Snakes in the wall.
Yeah, Burmese pythons.
But it was cool. Like I felt very good about going in there and just kind of checking it out. And probably the coolest thing is that like one of the people, like the guy that lives there, he's real big on the Star Wars. And he's like, oh yeah, we were like in the backyard, like, cleaning some stuff out, and we found like a whole bunch of Star Wars figures buried back there.
Oh, that were probably like yours and your brother's, or what?
Yeah, definitely.
Did you ask for them back?
No, I thought it was really cool that that he probably added them to his collection.
Yeah.
Why
would you bury your Star Wars figures?
Dude, I don't know. Like, probably thought it was cool.
That movie, The Boy Who Could Fly, isn't that what like the kid did? Like his G.I. Joes would die and he'd actually bury them.
Oh, really? I'm familiar with that movie just based on the name, but I don't really.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
Couldn't tell you anything about it.
Really long time.
Yeah. But it was, it's.
Did you use the bathroom while you were there?
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't.
Really?
I thought about it, but I don't know. I don't like pooping at other people's houses.
Yeah, but this would be like for old time's sake. It's like a nostalgia dump,
Yeah, I'd probably end up plugging it up again.
Yeah. Can I go plug up your toilet just for old time's sake?
Because if I remember correctly, it was really easy to plug up this.
Yeah, send it to your mom. Hey, Mom, guess what I did today? I plugged up the old toilet.
But like even my own bedroom didn't really, especially since they had removed the carpet, they switched it out with another carpet.
Yeah.
Growing up, I had a very bright lime green carpet in my bedroom. Yeah.
I don't know about that. Hey, you were going to go to Cleveland. Did you go to Cleveland?
No. We ended up
just skipped
Cleveland.
Entirely.
We were just ready to get home, so we just powered through.
Straight from Jamestown, you came home.
Yeah, and it's it's 5.5 hours, but Ohio is just so boring to drive through that it feels twice as long.
If you think Ohio is boring to drive through, let's have this conversation again after you go to Yellowstone.
Well, my wife is like, "Oh, I think what we'll do is just like drive for 2 days straight till we get kind of close, and then we'll stop at places."
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Okay."
I mean, I've driven through Wyoming. No disrespect to Wyoming, but that's rough.
Yeah. But is it like, you said it's like Big Sky, right?
Yeah, that's cool. And like, I stopped in like Fort Laramie and like that was very nice. It's like, old timey downtown kind of feel. But I'm saying like between towns when you're out in the middle of nowhere, it's just there's nothing really to look at. Then you see like randomly you'll see like 3 like trailer homes like out in the middle of nowhere and like some dilapidated cars, and it's like, oh my God, someone lives there.
Yeah, that's like
just it seems.
Can you
like
imagine what kind of internet speed they have?
Right.
That's all I think about when
like
I'm.
If you're going to live out there, like God help you if you don't have like gigabit internet.
Yeah, but I mean, how are you going to get that? Like even just driving.
Well, I guess now you can get Starlink.
Oh yeah.
All right, so you didn't go do that, but you did go see the horrific Lucille Ball statue.
Yes, we saw both of them.
Where's the good one?
They're
Is there a
like
museum or?
They're like 30 feet away from each other.
Oh, they're like in the same park.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because what they did is I think they put the new statue where the old statue was, and they put the other statue,
Yeah,
like elsewhere.
Yeah.
And it like it's not even something I intended on doing. And we just like were driving back from my cousin's house that day.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, here we're at Celeron Park. Let's see where the statues are. Oh, they're right there. Let's stop.
Have you ever seen it in person, or was this your first time?
It's my first time seeing them in person.
How was it
Yeah.
seeing that ugly statue in person versus just pictures and video on the internet? Like,
well, you know, I cannot stop thinking about it.
Yeah. Pretty freaky.
Yeah. I mean, I wake up in a cold sweat every morning because of it.
Okay.
But, you know, I told my kids about it, like, oh, we can see the scary statue.
Yeah.
And they were both very freaked out by it. Like they had no context. They were like, who is she?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Why, like, who is she that, you know, she has to have 2 statues made of her?
Yeah.
I do wish we had gone to the Comedy Center though. Like in Jamestown, they have the like the National Comedy Center.
What
it's like
a thing there.
It's like a comedy museum essentially.
So it has like a bunch of TVs like running.
Well, I don't know what it has, but
okay.
like everybody I've talked to says that it is completely awesome. And way better than anyone expects it to be. And I mean, they get like lots of like big comedians, whether you like them or not.
They have like Mitch Hedberg's sunglasses.
Maybe cool. They do. I don't know. But I mean, it just comes down to like whatever kind of stuff you like. I'm sure that there's like a lot of different kinds of comedians represented there.
Yeah.
But you know, like my stepsister said, she was like, "Oh, we went to see Jeff Foxworthy there, and he liked it so much that he donated $5 million to it."
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, at least it's not the guy who the ventriloquist, or is that? That's not Jeff Foxworthy.
No, I can't remember that guy's name. Isn't that guy's name's? That's Jeff Dunham.
Okay. They're all like comedians that I know of, I guess.
Yeah.
But I've never really. I just know the.
I don't know, man. Like people can dump on that all they want, and that's fine. But I don't watch any of that stuff anymore. But I will say, like the first couple of times I saw like Jeff Foxworthy doing stand up, like way back in the day, I thought it was pretty funny. And like I remember seeing like Jeff Dunham's first stand up special on Comedy Central. I thought it was funny. I think a lot of those guys, it's just like.
What about Larry the Cable Guy?
I don't think I've ever seen.
I don't think I ever
a Larry the
either.
Cable Guy, but he's made her right in Cars, so that's cool. I think with some of those comics, it's just like they really only have like one thing that they can do, and they're just doing that forever. And I think that's why maybe they wear out their welcome with some people.
Yeah, but they're rich beyond comprehension probably because of it too.
Whatever,
they're just riding it till the wheels fall off, and
sounds.
You know, I can't. You can't.
We would all do the same thing.
Yeah. What did you do this week? You went to what
did I do this week?
You went hiking.
What? Well, I think since the last time I've talked to you, I've gone hiking like twice.
Oh.
Yeah. Because the day we were supposed to record that we didn't go hike, or we didn't record, we went hiking. We went to a place called Point Reyes. It's Reyes. It's Spanish. Reyes. Like National Seashore, which is beautiful, beautiful place. It's right on the coast. It's like above San Francisco, you know. Yeah, we hiked like 10 miles. It's pretty crazy. 10 miles through like deep sand, and it was like an overgrown trail, and like we had to pour the sand out of us. But you get to the end, and it's like Point Reyes is like this peninsula, and we basically hiked to like the very tip of the peninsula, so that you just have cliffs all around you with, you know, like a steep drop off to the Pacific Ocean. It's very cool. Sat down, ate a sandwich. Good day,
and then, was it like a bologna sandwich?
No, I forgot. Where did we get those sandwiches? We stopped somewhere and bought sandwiches, and I don't even remember where we got them. Where did we get those? I don't like
it probably wasn't from Wegmans.
No, well, we don't have Wegmans here. No, we just stopped at a store someplace, and got. That's right. We went to. It's a place that sells cheese. It's like this place that sells cheese. That sounds stupid, but it's like a place they make cheese.
Yeah.
Like brie cheese and stuff, and then they make sandwiches where you just get a sandwich and it's like
the International House of Cheese.
No, but I would go there. Sounds awesome. Sounds awesome. But we did that. That kind of kicked our butts. But that was a really, really fun day. So I'm sorry we didn't record, but I had a very good time. And that was when I was saying earlier, like that was, it was like 110 here. And so we go over there.
Right there, it's like,
and you get out of the car, and I'm wearing like shorts and a t-shirt, right? Because it's 110 here. You get over there, open the car door, and you're like, oh man, maybe I should have brought a sweater. Like that's how cold it was. But it was great.
But it's like the most amazing thing.
Oh yeah,
when you first feel it.
Well, but it warmed up. We got there in the morning, so it warmed up. I ended up getting a sunburn. How about that? On the back of my legs, of all places.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can really see it.
Oh, you got a farmer's tan going on there.
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's...
Yeah. But then we went hiking again this last weekend. That was pretty nice, too. Saw giant redwoods.
Ooh.
Like, the redwood... They're all the same species, apparently, but these are redwoods that have just been growing for longer. But, I mean, big enough that it has a sign with, like, its vital statistics. Like, here's how tall this one is. Here's how girthy it is. Estimated age, whatever, Brought a sandwich again.
You ever think about taking, like, a shovel and just...
What is it with you and shovels and violence in general? No.
I don't know. I'm just thinking about...
But that was rough. We went hiking there too, at this place, and like the map didn't say anything about the hiking trail. It sounded nice, and we started hiking, and we didn't realize that like the first however much of the trail is like basically straight uphill. So I'm just like sucking wind the whole. both of us were, but once you get past that part, it was a very, very nice trail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, a sandwich there?
Well, we brought a sandwich with us again, yes, and a bag of potato chips. And that was a good day because we did that, and then on the way home, we stopped in this town that has a Whole Foods market. Mm-hmm. Not because I don't really care about that, but I'm saying someplace we could stop and get a snack and a cold drink, and not have to pay a lot of money. Like just go sit in a chair or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's when I whipped out my phone to see, how's that Rambo video doing? And then, saw that I got visited and sent you the screenshots.
Yeah.
Check me out.
That was when I was at Niagara Falls, I think. It was like specifically that same day.
It was like last Saturday. So if you were at Niagara Falls last Saturday.
Oh, so when you mentioned like getting out of the car and it being like that cool, like that's kind of how it was in Niagara Falls. Like you are at the top of the falls.
Yeah.
Before you go on the May of the Mist, and it's like it was like 90 some degrees. You take this elevator down where you can get on the boat, and it's like 20 degrees cooler down there. And it feels unbelievable.
We're probably going to go hike. I mean, I haven't asked my wife yet, but I'm going to propose that we go hiking again this weekend. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be like 110 here this weekend. So we're lucky that we can just drive a couple hours and it'll be 70 instead.
Yeah. That's a good way to spend a weekend, I think, if you're...
I mean, if we didn't have that cat, I would just say, hey, let's go spend the night somewhere. Like, let's leave like first thing Saturday morning and not come home till Sunday night.
You could leave your cat overnight.
I wouldn't do that. That's mean.
Really?
I mean, maybe I should just do what you said. If I want to go someplace and don't have to worry about the cat, I should go out in the garage and get the shovel.
And just...
No.
No, I mean, like, I wouldn't leave the dog, but we leave the cat for, like, just, like, fill up her bowl.
Yeah, you're right that we could. I would not do that.
You afraid that she'd just destroy something?
No, I would just feel bad.
Yeah.
I would, if I can't get someone to come stay in, like last time we went on a trip, we just got someone to come stay in our house.
See, that makes sense. I think, we brought our dog with us on this trip, and I think we're, like, not going to bring our dog anymore.
Maybe that's why you were fighting.
No.
Okay.
No. But we are not going to bring the dog with because we're going to like either get someone to stay here or we're going to, have her stay at a friend's house who will agree to take care of her.
Hey, if you pay for my ticket,
it just like limits the amount of stuff you can do.
I'll come stay there. Just pay my airline ticket.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it might.
Can I live stream from your basement?
If you
to
want.
My channel, I won't do it to your channel. That's rude.
Dude, can you imagine if we did something where like I recorded, I was sitting in your setup and you were right here?
I would love that.
That would be the best thing.
Yeah.
To ever happen on this podcast, and I don't think it could ever be topped.
No, I would love
if that like got worked out so like so much.
But we wouldn't acknowledge it, right? We would just
that
would be the best way.
I would just like pretend like there's nothing off, and the only people that would know are those
who watch it instead of listen to it.
Yes,
unless because then your voice would be coming out of the left channel, and my voice would be coming out to the right channel. So somebody might notice that.
Somebody might notice.
Yeah.
I do have to say though, like I think that people like enjoyed the driving aspect of like the couple episodes ago, or like the last episode, right?
We didn't get any negative feedback. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I love the footage that you use. I like the gameplay.
I don't think I had to record anything either. I just went to my gameplay footage archive and just pulled out anything that was driving footage, and I had more than enough.
It was fun.
I was very proud of how that turned out, but
you should be proud of it.
It was your idea, though. I think, wasn't it? I think you're the one that said.
Yeah, but I mean, like you did it better than I would have.
Because I was just going to use. I wanted to use desert bus footage, which wouldn't have been nearly as funny, really.
It's just like the Wipeout one, because it's like the driving is relatively like in the parts that I like skimmed through and watched.
Yeah,
it was like a lot of like crashing on the walls and stuff.
Dude, Wipeout's hard.
It is. It's super hard.
Yeah. I ordered this a while ago and just never messed with it. You know, I got one of those like the 3D printed memory card looking thing for the PS2, the MC2 SIO. So, you know, it's like a SD card adapter for the PS2. Mm-hmm. So I just finally started messing around with that this week.
Yeah, I have one. I couldn't get it to work, but I didn't spend too long with it.
Mine's working just fine.
Now that they made it so that you can load games off a exFAT formatted drive.
Yes,
like that's like a game changer for the PS2.
Right. That's why I was excited about doing that.
Can you do it with that thing too?
Yeah, it's just you have to use. There's a newer version of that OPL, Open PlayStation Loader, that you have to update OPL on your McBoot memory card, and then you can use exFAT. And then for anybody that doesn't understand what we're talking about, like a lot of PS2 games, because they're DVD images, they're larger than 4 gigabytes, but FAT32 is limited to 4 gigabyte file size. So with exFAT, you can load those larger games onto the card without having to use some kind of weird software to like split the file. So just makes
like
it
WinHip.
way easier. So
I've
been playing all that.
I'm really getting.
You what?
I got you a PS2 game. I'm gonna
really put
it in your box. I'm gonna send it to you.
Oh, is it a surprise?
Yeah, cool. Don't get excited though.
I'm not going to.
Okay. It's not. It's. I don't know if it's cool. It might be cool.
Yeah.
I have like a big box. I just need to finish those mini discs for you.
Yeah. I have no excuse. I'm ready to send you your stuff. I just haven't done it yet. Hey, you ever play Hot Shots Golf 3 for the PS2?
No, not the third one. I think I played the first one. I played 4.
Yeah. It's FORE 4.
Yes.
It's a pun. Somebody got a bonus for that. I guarantee it.
Oh, or they were like had that in mind since the very first one.
That's probably why they did it. They're like, oh man, if we can make 3 more of these, we can have Hot Shots Golf 4, but spell it 4 like foreskin. No, so this was kind of interesting. I had never played, and I don't know why, because I loved Hot Shots Golf on the PS1. I never bought a Hot Shots game on the PS2 for some reason. And so it was just the other day, because I was messing around with this thing I was talking about. I put Hot Shots Golf 3 on there, and I was playing it, and it's like really annoying. Like the character I chose, like she was kind of annoying, but then what was really annoying is this caddy that you have.
Yeah.
Who's like this buck-toothed, like Coke bottle glasses, like nerd who just says like really stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, it was to the point that it was distracting my enjoyment of just golfing. Like, you need to shut up. And so then out of curiosity, I'm like, is this what's the Japanese version like? You know, is there like a Japanese caddy nerd instead of a white guy? Like, you know, like that, who was the Japanese guy in Revenge of the Nerds? Is it something like that? So I go and I download Mina no Golf 3.
Yeah.
For what is that? Mina no Golf San for the PS2, just to see if it was different. And it's totally different. I mean, it's the same game, but like all the annoying stuff wasn't. It was just like a regular game of Hot Shots. So like somebody at like SCEA was like, we got to do something with this game to like, you know, make it more interesting. So we're gonna have all these like crazy
it more
characters,
obnoxious for people.
That's exactly what they did. Yeah.
You know, and that somebody got a bonus for that.
Oh yeah, coming up with these characters, you know.
Yeah, but you know, there's a lot of those games, and I think that I only played the first one, the fourth one. I don't think I played any of them on the PS2. Although I think I do have one because that was a really easy game to find. I found it at a lot of thrift stores for a while there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just gonna buy it because I keep on seeing it.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't I buy it?
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called. I mean, I'm not gonna go look.
Well, it's either 3 or 4. I mean,
Well, I'm talking about the first one on the PS2.
The first one on the PS2 is Hot Shots Golf 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the one I have then.
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I thought that there was like 4 of them on the PS1.
No.
Whatever. Okay. I've never played it then.
Okay. I don't know.
I never played 4 then.
I mean, I was interested to find that. I guess I never thought about it, you know, because I mean, as odd as this sounds, like PS2 is like a little bit too new for me to really be that into it, you know? Like I kind of PS1 and Saturn are kind of like the newest consoles that I really get excited about playing.
Yeah.
And which is funny because I have continuously owned a PlayStation 2 literally since the day it came out in the United States.
You still have your original system?
No. Because I have a Slim. Mm-hmm. And when the Slim came out, GameStop was doing some kind of really crazy, stupid deal where it was like, if you bring us your fat PS2 and like not that many games, you can trade it straight across for a Slim. Like it would be stupid not to do it, you know, so I did it. And I think this is still my original Slim, but anyway, I was saying, I was curious or kind of, it was interesting to see that my knowledge of the PS2 library is really poor. Because I'm like, okay, I don't know, what game should I put on? I got this, you know, huge SD card. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I want SSX on there.
You got to put the third one on. You put the third one on there?
No, because I have that for GameCube. I think that's better on the GameCube. Oh. SSX3. Because that's a lot of the problem I ran into is like, I could think of plenty of games where, yeah, it was on PS2, but that's not how I want to play it. You know, I was trying to think of like, what are some PS2 exclusives that I want to put on here? So, I mean, I did a lot of reading on there. You what?
The Getaway?
No, I didn't put the Getaway on. I
never played it, but I know that.
I mean, I came up with a bunch of stuff to put on there, but I'm saying I had to do a lot of like reading, and I asked in the Discord because I just realized I really don't know. You know, versus like, you know, setting up my X station.
You just put everything.
It was easy. No, I didn't put everything, but it was easy to go through like a redump set and be like, yeah, I want that. Like I know a lot more about the PS1 library because when the PS1 was the thing, that was like my main gaming, you know, platform. But when the PS2 came out, I had a PC, and so the PS2 was like something I had, but wasn't as into. That's nothing against the PS2. The PS2 is a great console, but I'm just saying I wasn't paying that much attention to it when it was current.
Mm-hmm. You put Gradius 5 on there?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Gradius 3 and 4 and Gradius 5.
Right. Gradius 3 runs in 240p on that.
Well, there you
collection.
Go. Yeah.
Kind of like a tangent on that, and like I'm just gonna bring it up here because I'll probably bring it up on a live stream or something like that sometime soon. I was just like really cracking up about it. So I went to the post office yesterday.
Yeah.
And this company sent what they dub as a retro game console.
Oh no.
So it was waiting for me, and can I go get it? Can I show it to you?
Yeah. What am I going to talk about while you're gone?
It's like literally right over there. So just give me a second.
All right, hurry up. I played a game called MLB Power Pros today. That was pretty fun. It's a Konami game for the PS2. It's Konami a baseball game, obviously, but you know all the characters are like chibi or whatever, and I guess it's a whole long running series.
Okay, so there was nothing on the packaging showing what it is, right?
Yeah.
I open it up, and this is what's inside.
That looks like an external hard drive to me.
It's an external hard drive.
Oh, it is an external hard drive.
And
don't put that in your... If somebody sends you an external hard drive unsolicited, do not plug that into your computer.
I put it on like a computer that is not
good
connected to anything. But all it is like, so it's available for sale on Amazon.
Okay. What is it like?
Because I checked the email and it's like, oh, this is what we sent.
It's like a retro arch thing with all the ROMs or what?
It's just all it is has like 3 different like emulation interfaces on it.
Yeah.
And it has 63,000 games on it. And it's just like,
see, here's the thing.
They just like straight up like didn't care what they put on there.
Yeah.
They were just like I can't believe they can just do that.
Yeah.
Because not only that, but it has like PC games. It has like new PC games on there.
Yeah.
Like it has like Ori and the Blind Forest, like in the Will of the Wisp. Like it has Tunic, which came out like a year and a half ago on there. Like they just don't care, and they're selling it on Amazon.
You know what the
worst? It is mind blowing to me.
You know what the worst part is?
The balls on them. What?
You know, it's like I go to the post office and I get like fan mail from viewers.
I'd much rather.
And you go to the post office and you get that.
Well, there's that, and there's like a couple of other things, but like I just like I was like floored. It was like
okay, but how big is the hard drive?
It's 5 terabytes.
So I mean, somebody sent you a free 5 terabyte hard drive. That's what I'm hearing. Exactly. I would just format that thing, and now you got a new external hard drive.
Right.
5 terabytes. Yes. That's a lot.
That is.
Yeah.
But if it was like I wish it was like a 4 terabyte SSD.
Well, sure.
Instead.
Yeah.
But it's, like I already have multiple 5 terabyte hard drives that I don't use because I used to back up like all the B-roll and stuff that we shot for the show.
Yeah.
I put it on I would get 5 terabyte drives as I needed them.
Don't you just use the cloud?
But I use my NAS for that stuff. I mean, I don't have...
What if, God forbid, something happens to your house? Like, do you have off-site backup?
I have the important stuff, like off-site, like using Backblaze.
Yeah.
But I mean, at this point, I'd have to back up like 34 terabytes of stuff.
And?
To that. And that's expensive.
But I think there are some places where they don't charge you, it's just per computer.
I think it's like they charge you a certain amount to upload it, but then it's like it's more expensive to download it back.
Oh, that's how they get you. They hold your stuff hostage.
Yes.
You should just buy like a huge external enclosure that can hold a backup copy of all your data, copy it all there, wrap it in like aluminum foil, and then put it in a garbage bag and then bury it in the ground somewhere.
And then forget about it.
Yeah. No, make a map and, hide it in a book in the library that nobody reads.
That'd be pretty fun.
That sounds like a good plot for a movie, Somebody goes out, somebody finds a mysterious map, like 100,
that's what the new
100 years
should
from
have been
now,
about.
and finds your hard drives and all this gameplay footage and decides to start a YouTube channel.
When there's like the world is like ended.
Yes,
there's
this
no
is a
human civilization
post-apocalyptic.
left.
Yeah. What?
I'm just thinking if I got anything else.
Well, I figured probably with all that driving and fighting and whatnot, I figured you must have come up with a does it slap or should we eat it?
I actually did not. It was like I don't know if it came up. I felt like I was just moving from thing to thing so much that.
All right. Well, then instead, because I wanted to talk about this.
Okay.
And I don't. All right. So not to keep bringing him up, but I watched the Tokimeki Memorial video.
Oh, so you
action button.
You hadn't watched that.
I don't know, because I just like I would put it on and like it's where for some reason I had a hard time getting into it just because of the subject matter. But then once I got into it, then I was into it. Does that make sense? It's like one of those games where it's like, well, you have to play the game for like 5 hours before you like get into it. Like this was like the YouTube video version of that, although it didn't take 5 hours. But it was just interesting because so he was saying that like, Tokimeki Memorial is a game that lets you go like redo high school.
Right.
And then he said, and it's not an exact quote, but he said like, if you are not someone that would take the opportunity to go redo high school, you're not somebody I would want to be friends with. That's a paraphrased.
No, I agree. Like I feel like most people.
Why would you want to go back and? But here was my thing.
Knowing everything you know now.
Okay, but so this is what I understand. So are you saying, because this is the only conditions under which I would do it, right? You can say, okay, snap your fingers. It's going to be the first day of your freshman year. You can relive the 4 years of high school, but then no matter what happens on graduation day, you come back to your life now. That's the only way.
Great.
That's the only way I would do it. Like if you're saying we're going to rewind the clock and you're going to be 14 again and your life is going to take a totally different path, then like, no, thank you.
Right. I agree.
But he wasn't clear on that. So I'm like, wait, are you saying, because if you're happy with where you are in life, why would you want to upset the apple cart?
Totally. But if you could just like pause the now and like live 4 years.
But like what is it that you're going to do, in high school that you want to go back and do differently because you missed out on?
I don't know.
I mean, in my opinion, high school just sucked.
I don't know what I'd even.
Could I go back could I go back in time and get better grades and like get in shape and be more social? Yeah, but to what end?
But if it's not going to carry over.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like my life turned out way better than it should have. So I mean, I got nothing to complain about. So it's just like, and if I could go back and relive my youth, the fact that it was like the high school component of it, the school in general component of it, would be the thing that I gave the least amount of a crap about.
But so if you do that, would you? What if you remembered everything you were able to do though?
But to what end? Like you could go back and like you could make different decisions and probably end up rich. I mean, obviously, I'd go buy Apple stock. Like, yeah, okay. But I'm saying,
right.
But so then what? Then you're not going to have your wife and kids anymore, and you're going to live in L.A. or is that what you want? Like that's not what I want. Like I like my life the way it is, right? And like I don't spend enough time thinking about high school to think like, oh, I want to go back and live that again. Like I'd say the opposite. Like anybody that liked high school or even now in their 40s cares enough about high school that they want to go back and redo it. Like to me, that's strange.
Yeah.
Like it's
over.
It's
like I think about, I think this whenever I hear anybody say like, oh, remember this time in high school is the best time of your life. And I'm like, that feels really sad.
Anybody that says that, I don't want to be friends with. Like you sound like Al Bundy saying stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not you, but whoever says that.
No. I agree because like, like it's not.
Yeah.
And nor should it be.
Like high school sucked. I was a complete loser in high school. I don't want to go back and redo it so I can not be a loser in high school. I don't.
Right.
That requires a level of care that I just don't have.
Yes. No, you know what?
I mean, at least say you want to go back and redo
totally
college, right. And then you can make a difference in your life, like,
yeah.
Or say you want to go back and redo high school so you can graduate with a, 4.5 and get a full ride scholarship to an Ivy League school, or something like that. Otherwise, like what happened to you between the ages of 14 and 18 that you think were so pivotal that you want to go back and redo it? I just don't get it.
Yeah, and it's also the fact that like there's literally like almost anything that I would want to do is something that I could easily re-experience.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. Like I don't.
Like, oh man, I play so many games and stuff.
Yeah, I already did that.
Like, no, I already did that, and I still have most of those games.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched a ton of TV and I played a ton of video games, and I don't need to go do that again. Like, I mean, I'm not. Have you ever gone to a high school reunion?
And if I wanted to drink, I had to like find somebody to buy it for you, and then you had to sneak out. Say you're camping someplace when you really weren't.
Yeah, yeah. Have you ever gone to a high school reunion?
So I went to my 10-year.
Yeah.
I was gonna go to my 20-year, but my mom had a stroke like right before, so I ended up. Like, she was staying. She like came to stay with me, and we were gonna go to my hometown. She was gonna see my cousin and everything, but she had like a stroke like the day before, like a minor stroke.
Yeah.
And she wasn't sure what it was.
Yeah.
And she got here, and she's like, something really weird happened, and we like took her to the hospital, and she ended up having to have like surgery like on her on her neck, like on both sides. So it was like this vacation. She was supposed to be here for a week, and she was here for like almost 3 months.
Wow.
But I was supposed to go to that.
Yeah.
And like,
so you were literally going to travel back to your hometown just to go to your high school.
Well, when it's like 5.5 hours away, it's not a big deal.
Wow.
I mean, because there's like.
Sorry, that's not. I'm not judging you when I say wow. It's just like I would not. Like, I live way closer than that to my hometown, and I don't go back for any reason, really.
But I mean, like, it's just as well is that there's a lot of people that wouldn't go.
Yeah,
and I think it changes things because like I graduated with like 55 people or something like that.
Oh, so you probably like everybody probably knew everybody to a certain.
Everybody
extent.
knows everybody.
Oh, that'd be cool. Though.
Yeah, so like in situations like that where it's just kind of like, oh, I'm just kind of curious to see who's going to go, and there's like it's so few people, and I know enough about them or I knew them well enough, I guess, that I can sit there and talk to them for 20 minutes during this 5-hour thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and just kind of catch up and be like, and I think in a lot of ways, like social media has. Ruined a lot of that stuff, as in, like not only has it ruined like the surprise of what people have done since then, but it also makes it so like, man, this person sucks now.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't want to go and talk to this person.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't think of anybody I went to high school with that I really give that much of a crap about seeing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I was at the record store. Need I say its name? Armadillo Music, 207 F Street in downtown Davis. Because I found out that the owner of the record store is like best friends with a guy that I went to high school with. Because I guess he lives up here now.
Oh, that's cool.
It is, but like, it's funny because, so this guy, like, out of high school, like he went to Harvard, and then he went to like law school, and then was, a lawyer for a while doing whatever. And then he ended up getting like appointed by President Obama to some like high level job in like the Justice Department or maybe in the White House. I don't know which,
Damn.
And so it's funny because, so I'm in the record store and he comes in there and I just went over and chatted up with him. And I was just like, hey, I don't, you probably don't remember me, but, we went to high school together and we chatted for a little while, and then like afterwards, Nick is like, oh yeah, I saw you talking to the Obama guy. And I'm like, I don't care about that. I was just, we went to high school together, but it was just like, I went to like the rich kids high school. So it's like, of course, he did something like that, it's like, oh, what are you up to? It's like, got got a podcast, got an arcade machine in my basement. Like.
Yeah, I just got one of those. I got GH5,
GH4, and a GH4. I've got a Sennheiser MKH416.
Yeah.
What are you, a lawyer? Yeah, my microphone costs more than you make in 2 hours, or whatever.
Well, you've convinced me though. I mean, I think that I agree with you. Like, there's nothing.
I wasn't
that I
trying
can
to
go back
convince you. I was just
do.
like, it makes me want to pick his brain, unless it was something he was just saying up for the
I think
show.
Isn't that,
like, if he really thinks that, I would like to hear more of the reasoning of why. Like, do you not enjoy the fact that you've traveled
did you
the
finish
world?
It yet? Isn't that like the point of the video where he's like, by the end, he's like, I don't want to go back. I don't want to redo anything like this again.
I'd have to go back and rewatch the end of the video, I guess.
Because I feel like that is like the point of it.
Maybe that is
like that. You don't need to do this stuff.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
It's like all those choices are what made you.
Well, that's what I always say.
Change that.
I don't want to change anything. Like, have I made a lot of dumb decisions in my life? Yeah, but like all of that stuff added up to me now.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't change.
It's not
anything.
like you're in jail or anything.
Not currently.
It's like, if you had done anything different, we wouldn't be recording this right now.
Exactly.
And everybody who's listening would be doing something completely different.
Listening to something else anyway.
Yeah.
Probably like Player One podcast or something, though.
Yes, probably. Yeah. I mean, but who knows? Like, maybe, Greg Stewart does those read-throughs. He's been doing some magazine read-throughs on Generation 16, right?
Yeah.
So what if you were not doing this, then he might not be doing that. And
he wouldn't be doing that if I hadn't done it. I don't think. I mean, I think he
that's
told
what I mean.
Me
it's like
that
if you change that
inspiration,
it's like the butterfly.
Yes.
Like the ripples.
Yes.
The butterfly effect.
Yeah.
I never saw the movie with Ashton Kutcher.
Me either. That's not that's not a marquee name for me. Ooh, Ashton Kutcher.
Yes.
Let's go check it out.
Yes. I mean, there's no. But it's like, who knows how much that could change things. I mean,
he seems like he's a very nice person, though. I'll say that, Ashton Kutcher. He involves. I don't want to make it seem like I'm just saying. I don't really want to. My interest in his career starts and ends with That 70s Show, which is a great show. I love that show.
Mm-hmm. What about Punk'd?
No, I wasn't into Punk'd.
No,
but I have That 70s Show on DVD, the whole series.
Okay, so I mean. You've certainly seen more of it than I have. Did you watch that new one, the 90s one?
No. But I mean, not as a matter of policy. I just, I guess I wasn't interested enough to check it out.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's fighting upstairs now. I can hear them fighting.
You should play that hot air balloon game, though, I was playing, Kaze no Tom.
You think so?
Really good game, dude. Really good.
I have it on my X station.
I beat the whole thing in one night. Like, I sat there and just beat the whole game, which doesn't take that long. Although one of the levels I had to replay it like 20 times. Is brutal. But even then, it was just like when I finally beat it, I was just like, because it's just like I was saying in the video. It's like if the wind's not going your way, the wind's not going your way, and it's just like you run out of gas and start over. But.
It's kind of funny though. I mean, not funny, but it's just like I was surprised. So I put a bunch of Japanese games on my X station. Yesterday, and in my Japan game directories, like I have it split out into 6 because there's a ton of Japanese PS1 games.
Sure.
So I had to there's 6 different directories. It's split up into six different directories.
Like A through F and etc. You're saying?
Yes, it's like A through D, I think, and then it's 4 letters per directory. But I was very surprised when I went to the directory with K. I had 17 games in there, 17 Japanese PS1 games, and that was one of them.
So what's the disappointment?
No, I wasn't disappointed. I was very surprised that
good.
because I haven't put any new games on my X station in probably almost a year. And I was like, why would I have put that on there? I had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
But for some reason, there was something about that name. And I guarantee you that the reason I put it on there is because I thought maybe it had something to do with Klonoa, the game Klonoa, because the Japanese game is Kaze no Klonoa.
Oh, I see.
So I wonder if I put that on, I'm like, oh, I wonder if maybe it has some sort of relation to it. It doesn't.
What is Klonoa? Like,
what is it?
Well, no, just what would because Kaze no Klonoa would mean Klonoa of wind.
Yeah, that's because he's like shoots his thing is like called the wind bullet. Like he's called like Klonoa of the wind. I guess. Like he lives in like a wind village and stuff like that.
I see.
Yes. So I mean I was very surprised to see that on the on my micro SD card.
Yeah.
You like that though? You like your X Station?
Well, here I'm going to say something that you're going to get upset probably. I think I'm going to get rid of most of my PlayStation games.
Well, you should let me know what you're getting rid of before you do it.
Like I think
because it's just that good, right?
I want to keep stuff that's like, I still have my original copy of Final Fantasy VII, for example. My original copy of like Castlevania Symphony. I got a few games I'm not getting rid of, but I just don't see myself ever playing them again.
Yeah, okay.
I understand between the X Station and between that and the Mister. Why would I go to the shelf and...
Yeah, I totally agree. Especially on the Mister, since you can use CHUD files.
Yeah, everybody loves the CHUD files. I think I'm going to start getting rid of a lot of my games, actually. And we've had this conversation before, but I feel more strongly about it now.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of a light purging of games. Yeah. I think, specifically on the Switch. I think I have some stuff that I got for some reason or another. Like thinking like, oh, I want to play this because it's like the current situation of like limited releases.
Yeah.
It definitely makes you buy things that you're only partially sure of.
Yeah. Yes.
Because you don't want to regret it, And I've kind of have been breaking myself of that. Like, oh, I need to know if it's something that I really, really want.
Yeah.
Going forward,
Yeah.
Because I'm just going to run out of room and like, what am I going to do for the rest of my life?
Well, that's my thing. And it's just like, I don't need that stuff, and I'm not going to get rid of anything that I feel uncomfortable getting rid of, but it's just like, there's some stuff where I look at it, like my Saturn games. Like I have two Saturns. I have a Saturn with a mode in it, which to me means I'm covered, right?
Yes.
And then I have another Saturn that has like a region mod that I put in it. And then it's got the, what's that cartridge you put in there that you can flash?
The action replay?
Yeah, but it's like flashed so that it also lets you play burns. Yeah. I have that, and then I have all these Saturn games.
It's like the action replay Kai or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
Something like that. I don't need that, and I don't need any of the games. Like I don't want that anymore. I don't take any enjoyment, I don't think, out of owning that stuff. I just want to be able to play Saturn games for now, at least on original hardware. Maybe that'll change later. I have like, why do I have a Jaguar? I don't ever play it. Why do I have a 3DO? I don't ever play it. I'm always like, well, I might need gameplay footage at some point. Like I did a whole...
If you're gonna get rid of your Jag, you should. I will buy your Jaguar from you.
All right, we'll figure it out. It's gonna be. I got that. I got the Jag CD. I got the Pro controller. So like, if you want that, it's gonna hurt your butthole a little bit. But I'm saying, like, I made that huge video about the PlayStation in 1995, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would think if ever, outside of literally making a video about the 3DO, if ever I was going to need a lot of 3DO footage, it would have been for that. And I think I ended up recording footage for like one game. Just get it out of here.
ODE in my 3DO.
You have a who?
An ODE.
Oh, I didn't even know they had one for the 3DO. That's cool.
I just have a new one too. Like the one I have is.
I mean, the 3DO kind of sucks, man. Like I don't need.
I'm not gonna say you're.
I don't need to keep that. I got rid of a whole box of CDs the other day.
They were burned 3DO games.
No, like music CDs.
Okay.
Like albums. Like I filled up a whole box and took it down to 207 F Street, location of Armadillo Music.
Was there anything in there that you had just gotten recently?
Sure. Just as I just realized, why do I have, like, I would rather start putting together like a digital collection of like high quality rips for stuff. Like my favorite albums I want to have physically still, but everything else I can either stream it or I can, if I got rid of a lot of stuff, like if I got rid of some of my vinyl, that would give me enough money to go buy a nice quality like network streamer with like built-in storage.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have that.
Yeah, until there's no internet left, or they
if it has internal storage, then I can,
you just like save it on there. Yeah,
yeah.
I get it. And, I think about stuff like that every once in a while, but I think the way that we do our show, like I like to show stuff as much as possible, but there's a lot of stuff that I do have.
But see, that's the excuse I always, but you do that way more than I do, like with like the B-roll and stuff. I don't do that. I'm always like, I need to have a physical copy to hold up, but I don't actually need that.
But could I just, like, if I decide I'm going to get rid of something, I could just basically shoot B-roll of that thing in every possible angle, like putting it into a system, holding it up, thumbing through, like we have a close-up of every like significant thing in the instruction manual.
Yeah.
It's just like all that stuff that I could definitely do that. But, like stuff like PS1 games.
Yeah.
Most of the PS1 games that I have are stuff that I've had since I was young.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's like only a handful of stuff. Like I felt very good about my PS1 collection, which you can see like right.
I see it. Yeah.
It's like it's like
I see it.
2.5 rows.
You got some Saturn games right underneath it there. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right over. Right there.
It's blurry, but I can see it just fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then if that's how you feel, then you shouldn't. I mean, I'm not telling you to get rid of anything.
No. Like that's. I mean, I feel like my PS1 collection. Like I don't think of. I mean, there might be like a couple of things here and there that I may have gotten.
Yeah.
Like in bundles with certain other things.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like I don't need like 007 Die Another Day.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't have
which
that
like I got for like
place,
$2 at Goodwill because there's like a big stack of PS1 games.
Sure.
I'm like, I'm just gonna buy them all. Like there's certain things that I think I can totally get rid of, and like, and that's what I think that I want to do in terms of that. But like most of my PS1 games are stuff that I like want.
Then you should.
And I've had since I was a kid.
Yeah, but like for me, like my PS1 collection, I feel like is a very well curated sort of library of PS1 games. Like anything I might want to play because it's good. But I just feel like now I don't need that anymore. Like I just want to keep the stuff that has sentimental value. Like I want, like I said, my copy of Final Fantasy VII, my copy of NHL 98 signed by Daryl Ray, and a few other things. But even like I'm going to probably get rid of most of my NES games, my Super NES games. The only thing right now where I'm like, I'm not getting rid of that for sure is for the time being, I'm not touching my Genesis collection.
Yeah. I don't want to get rid of it.
I'm not there yet. But then fine, then just don't. Like I'm not going to do anything that makes me uncomfortable, but I've got enough stuff where it's just like, why am I keeping this stuff at this point?
Yeah. Yeah. I get that.
I hate having so much stuff, which is ironic because I keep buying like all this stuff behind me over here. I hate the fact that I have most of that. I don't look at it and be like, oh, it warms my heart to have all this cool old computer stuff on the shelf. It doesn't.
Do you look at it and think like I should be doing something with this?
Maybe. Well, because that's the point. Like there's a Mac Classic back there because I was going to make a video about gaming on the Mac Classic, which I'm still going to make it. But after that computer's out of here. There's two Tandy 1000s. One of those is out of here.
Jeremy Parrish, makes a video, like buys something for a video and then gets rid of it when he's done.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Because if ever in the future I really feel passionate, I want to make a video about whatever. I can buy whatever I need with the money the show makes. Like it's not, I just always considered myself a gamer first, really, and a collector. Because most of the stuff I have was from the days before ODEs and flash carts, and if you wanted to play something, you had to have it. And so much of my stuff is a holdover from that, and now I just look at it and it's just like I have just piles of stuff everywhere. Yeah. And I think it keeps me from enjoying my house to its fullest potential because it just like turns rooms into like storage areas for all of this stuff rather than a place that I will enjoy, sitting and working or relaxing or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I think I can think of like a few things that I probably will, get rid of, but they're like all like super low value things.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be basically just getting rid of them so that I have room for like the better things that I want.
Yeah.
But I think is in terms of, if I'm continuing to do stuff on YouTube, like I can't see myself like doing any like huge,
But I would also say,
but
from what I've seen of your basement, from various camera angles, like it's set up really nicely. You have like everything arranged. You have plenty of room.
Yes.
For like shelves, like everything, your basement seems generally very neat and tidy, right?
Yeah.
I don't really have that option.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't feel like my stuff at this point is neat and tidy. And I would like to, at least as a starting point, get back to that point where I have a small enough amount of stuff that it can all be stored away in a way that is nice.
Yes.
And then maybe after that, if I want to keep getting rid of stuff, go for it.
That's a good idea. That's a good outlook.
Yeah.
I just, I have like all these bins of VHS tapes.
Yeah.
That I want to digitize. I want to go through every single one of them. Like these are all stuff from like my grandma's house. I've talked about these VHS tapes before.
Yes.
And I want to go through them all and digitize them, and then I can get rid of those.
Yeah.
Like I feel like just making digital copies of those and making like compressing them down to like high quality H.265, and then putting them on my Dropbox, and then then I have offsite storage for the stuff.
Yeah.
And I get like the TV, like the off air TV recordings, get them to the people who want that stuff, and then I can get rid of it if I don't have any like desire for it. Because that's the reason I'm keeping this. Like I'm still doing that really is because right now off air, like straight up just recording off air TV from like the 80s and 90s is like really cool, and you never know what you're going to find.
Absolutely. Yeah. Even just cool old commercials and whatever else. Yeah.
But once I like do all those, I'm going to take them to an e-waste place and dispose of them properly.
Yes.
I don't know where I was going with that. I was just saying like that's similar.
I think we were just commiserating about trying to get rid of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think you were going anywhere else with it. All my Sega Master System games out of here except for Phantasy Star.
Okay. Well, I mean, like when you get rid of some of these,
I won't get rid of anything without checking with you first.
Okay. Because I have most of the stuff that I want, but you never know what you might have.
Yeah.
That that I wish I had.
Yeah.
That I wish my kids see us there. So we're recording this like much later than our normal recording time.
Yes.
And
not like the middle of the night or anything, but I think it's evening for you and late afternoon.
Yeah,
for me.
it's 8:30 right now.
Oh my goodness!
And usually we're recording like from like 11:30 a.m. until
your
1
time.
o'clock.
That's 8:30 a.m. my time because I get my ass out of bed when it's time to do the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really respect that about you. I mean, I do the same thing. Like I'm up at like 6:30.
Yeah, I'm already up. I was being facetious. I don't get I'm already well out of bed by 8:30.
And but my wife like said, "Oh, I'm gonna watch Look Who's Talking."
One or two?
Well, they watched the first one last night.
Oh.
Because like the kids are getting to this age now where you gotta explain to them where babies come from.
Oh no.
Right?
Yeah.
That's definitely come up. But in that movie has a really shows real on I guess like the molecular, like the inside level.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Where you see like the sperm going towards the egg and everything like that.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious. Like my wife the way that it shows it, it's like, whatever. And my wife's like, "Oh, isn't that pretty neat?" And then it's like shows like the egg and like there's like just to like add effect to it, they started showing kind of like electricity around it.
Oh.
So like
Is
when
that
that
how that
happens,
works?
and my son's like, "Why is there lightning? Why is there lightning coming out
That's
of
a
it?"
fair question.
I was dying
I'd
because
want to
it's
know the
like,
same thing.
it's like that's a really good representation of what happens.
Yeah.
But why is there lightning coming out of it? Does that really happen?
Yeah.
Does lightning really come out?
Maybe. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, I watched sorry, you had more?
I just gonna say like they watched that and then
Yeah.
they just like watched the second one.
Just now.
And they were just watching it upstairs. I don't think I've only seen the second one time, and I remember it not being as good. But I was very surprised that those movies were directed by Amy Heckerling, who directed Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Clueless.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that until
I think I've only seen Look Who's
2 hours ago.
Talking once, and I don't think I've ever seen Look Who's Talking 2.
Yeah, there's also Look Who's Talking Now.
Oh my goodness.
Which is then it's like then the dogs have voices.
Oh wow, that's exciting. I watched My Neighbor Totoro for the first time.
Oh, I've never seen that either.
I've never seen. See, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like when I said just sort of the impact that Boku no Natsuyasumi video had on me.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I am very ignorant of Japanese culture as a whole. Like, I like Japanese food. I like Japanese video games. I've never gotten into like manga, anime, Japanese music, any of it. Like, I just don't know anything about it.
You're just kind of exploring to see if there's anything that.
Well, I'm saying I had never heard of Studio Ghibli.
Really?
Yeah. That's how I'm saying when I say I'm ignorant,
really surprising
I have never seen a single Studio Ghibli movie. I'd never even heard of it.
Okay.
But see, I got like my neighbor next door at work, and he's in the office next door, and he's all into Studio Ghibli. So he would kind of talk to me about it, and I'm like, I don't really know what you're talking about. So then when I watched the Boku Natsu video, he mentioned Studio Ghibli. I'm like, oh, that's the thing Ruben was talking about as well.
So you're going to check that out, and
I watched one. I watched My Neighbor Totoro, and I watched it in Japanese with the English subtitles rather than watching the English dub, because that's lame. It's not lame. I mean, they got major actors, but I'd rather watch it the way I watched it.
So, like something like that, like I've never seen that, but I've seen like many of their other ones.
Yeah.
Do you feel as though, even though you never watched them before or even knew what they were, did you still feel like a sense of nostalgia watching it for like this time period in which it was made?
No, in fact,
because I know you talked about like city pop music, and I was like listening. So I had like I knew what city pop was, but I never like really went out of my way to listen to it, and I put an album on and listened to it while I mowed the lawn yesterday.
Yeah.
And even though I had never really heard it, like it definitely gave me a sense of nostalgia from the period in which it was made.
Yeah.
Because like I guess I've heard city pop like in games.
Yeah.
And you realize like, oh, like this song in this game is city pop.
Yeah.
So
no, I don't. I think my answer is no. If I'm being honest, okay. I don't think because I don't like. I shouldn't say I don't like. I enjoy the opportunity to watch a movie that people say is good without knowing a single thing about it.
Okay.
So I knew literally nothing about My Neighbor Totoro except whatever Tim Rogers said about it in his video, which was very little. It was just the basic premise. And so like I'm not going to go read like the Wikipedia. I want to just watch the movie first.
Right.
So like I didn't even know when it was made. I just watched it. And then after that, I went and read the Wikipedia article about it. And, it's talking about sort of the themes of the movie that went over my head because it requires a knowledge of Japanese culture that I don't really have. That almost makes me want to watch the movie again, like having that knowledge now. But
with the context.
Yeah. But
you should watch Grave of the Fireflies.
No, I've seen that. When I was in college, my roommate made me watch Grave of the Fireflies, and
and you watched it once and never watched it again.
Oh, yeah. I think that's how
I was.
I think that's how
like,
most people who have seen it once. You don't need to see that. Not that it's not a great film, but good Lord.
Yeah, you don't need to watch it again.
No.
I was gonna say, if you're not like,
but that might literally be the only other feature length animated, like Japanese animated film I've ever seen. Like now that I watch Totoro, I've seen 2 in my entire life. And I'm not saying that to brag or look. I'm saying that's how ignorant I am of. Because now I feel like I'm getting all weird. Because now I want to check out City Pop, but it's just because this is like this whole new world that I knew nothing about, and it's just something interesting to kind of dig into.
Well, I would argue that like that is like exactly his goal in making these videos and like what he's trying to do. It's to like get that, get those like the stories across, and also like it has always been amazing to me the way that he is able to connect the dots like by taking so many tangents, and then like still like connected at the end.
Yeah.
Like that, like I can't even imagine like the mental capacity that it would take to be able to do that.
Well, I mean, clearly he's far smarter than I am. So
yes. Or like much smarter than me too.
Like now I have to go back and watch the end of that Tokimeki Memorial video to see if that was the whole point, was I'm going to say I want to go back and redo high school, and at the end I'm going to be like, oh, that's never mind. Maybe I missed that. I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I feel
like that might be like part of the point of it.
Maybe.
Like, because he played through it like so many times, he's like, I feel like I don't need to do that now.
Yeah.
I would not want to do that.
That's all I've got to say about Tim Rogers for this episode.
for this week.
For now.
Yeah. You still got more videos, and you should, if you want to, I recommend his video on Kotaku where he like reviews the year 1994.
Oh, yeah, I'd started watching that. I don't know what happened. I think I fell asleep or something. Not because it's boring. I think it was like a bedtime video kind of thing. I think I just nodded off. But
also, you should watch the one where he recites like something like 300 game boxes.
I watched that. I watched that one. That one was pretty
I feel
crazy.
like I could do that.
Oh, I definitely could not.
I feel like I could do that.
We should do that sometime then. That's good podcast material. I'll get some game boxes and I'll have them here. And I'll be like, I'm not going to pick esoteric
You can tell me the
stuff.
name of the game, and I could tell you what's on the box cover.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna be crappy and like pick esoteric stuff. I'll be like Strider for the Genesis. Go, and then you can just do it.
It's like the guy hanging from something, and he like looks like really awkward. Like he like looks too real for the game that he's in.
He really does. That's true.
He's got like his gray jumpsuit with the white belt.
Wow,
it's like a leotard almost.
Wow. Oh, we definitely got
like a wrestler leotard.
We should do this next episode.
Because
that was you pulled out way more way more detail than I would have expected.
I mean, when it comes to stuff like that, I could probably do it. Speaking of which, I just want to show it since we're just on video, or now we're like the people who are watching this in video will.
It's like 50-50, like almost exactly. It's but like
so the fun thing that I was doing with we were doing with my kids on this trip, like when we were like hanging on and like in line or something like that, waiting for stuff. My wife downloaded this app, like a charades app on her phone. And then we ended up buying like all the different decks for it. So for instance, you just like, so it's called charades. I'm going to show you. Okay. So you put a time limit in, right?
Yeah.
You can't really see it because it's going to be too bright.
It's too bright.
You put the time limit in.
Yeah.
And then you hit start.
Yeah.
And you hold it up here.
Oh.
And it counts down.
Yeah.
And the other person tries to like get the person holding it to guess what it is.
Wow. All right.
Like I don't know if you can see it.
I see it.
As long as I don't look at it.
I see it.
And then can you like what it is?
I'm not doing this on a podcast, man.
I'm just gonna say, like, it's cool. Like you just either you tip it down to say like if you get it right. And
one went by that said vintage arcade games. While you were doing that,
the deck that I picked was
pop
reminiscing
culture?
the 80s.
Oh, well, one
but
of them. The first one was Mullet.
And it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Sorry. We're not going to do that on the podcast.
Yeah.
We could do that sometime, though. That would be
do that on a live stream.
Yes.
You and Coury should do that. I mean, you and Troy, rather. Sorry, you're Coury.
Well, I mean, it'd have to be very specific knowledge for him to be able to explain it.
Yes. Fried foods.
Or we could do it.
Oh, that's potato wedges.
It's fried chicken.
Yeah. I do love potato wedges, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Taters.
I was actually, when we went hiking this weekend, I went to a store that has a good deli, and I was hungry, and they have this whole section where it's like hot food that's already in like little containers for you, and the sign said potato wedges, and I got real excited, and I looked in there, and all the containers were full of tater tots instead. Which,
dude, tater tots are pretty great, though.
Okay, but here's the issue, because yes, tater tots are awesome. The issue is that these are in containers with lids on them already, and I feel like usually when you eat potato wedges, like potato wedges generally are not crispy. I don't think most potato wedges I've had not crispy. Tater tots need to be crispy. So these things are inside this container. It's all fogged up. They're not going to be crispy. That's a bad call. They must have run out of tater tots, or run out of potato wedges rather, and subbed in the tater tots. But
yeah,
that was disappointing for me.
Yeah, someone should pay. So someone will pay dearly.
I would definitely not go that far. But I had to make me a sandwich to take with us, and that was very, very good. Had thick sliced bacon on it.
Ooh.
And turkey.
Love that bacon.
It was a club.
Turkey bacon?
Club sandwich. Yeah, it was a club sandwich.
You know, we went to we went to Subway 3 times on this trip.
Oh.
And Wegmans 1 time.
What do you get? Do you have a go-to when you go to Subway?
Subway Club.
Oh yeah.
With all the meat, lettuce, tomato, green peppers, pickles, and banana peppers, and salt and pepper. I don't get any oil or vinegar. I don't get any mayonnaise.
Oh, I always get the oil and vinegar. I get the mayonnaise, mustard, and oil and vinegar. I haven't been to a Subway in years. We had one down the street, and it closed. Mm-hmm. So now I don't even know where to go. I mean, Subway sucks. Like, I admit freely Subway sucks, but Subway sucks the same way like McDonald's sucks. Like, it's a familiar flavor, and you eat it, and it brings back memories. Like, for me, I go to Subway, and all I ever want is a cold cut combo, which is like their crappiest sub. But when I was a kid, that was all we could afford. And so that's the only Subway sandwich I ever got to eat was a cold cut combo.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
As long as I'm going there for the nostalgia, give me the cold cut combo.
Right. I mean, that's why we went there, and then I was like, can we just there's a Wegmans right here. Can we go to and get a sub at Wegmans? Because
is this a grocery store chain? Is that it? You keep saying Wegmans as if I know what it is.
So it's just like a grocery store. It's like a really good grocery store that was like a Western New York thing for a long time. Right. But I think one has opened in New York City recently. But they are known for having really good subs.
Yeah. Oh.
And cool. They are really, really good, and they're really big.
Yeah.
And my wife got a sub. I was getting gas. I was like, oh, just what I like on it. So, get us both a sub, or get us a sub that we can split.
Yeah.
And she got it, but she got it instead of just like regular Italian bread, but it was Italian bread, but it had everything bagel type seasoning on it.
Yeah. No good?
No, it was great.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say you hated it.
Really
sounds good to me.
Brought that seasoning on it, the saltiness of it.
Yeah.
Really, I think took it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
That I had never considered was even possible.
Wow, that's serious business then. You
should have gone back in. Next time you get a sub, you should put some of the. You should put some everything.
You should have gone back into the store,
seasoning,
drove back to the store and tell them that, you took deli sandwiches to a new plateau previously not thought possible.
I mean, I was thinking about it for more than 2 days later, and I'm still thinking about it. Really, and it's been almost a week.
To me, the frustrating thing about deli sandwiches is they're always made, kind of to your point, I feel like they're always made on better bread than you can buy yourself. It's like there's this secret bread network where they get this bread where you're like, man, if I could just get this bread, I could make the sandwich at home. But like if you go to the store and look at the bread they have on the bread aisle, none of it, not that I'm saying it's not good bread, but none of it is like that deli sub bread that they get. But then, of course, you go to the deli and be like, hey, can I buy some bread? They're like, no, because we know what you're going to do with it. Like, you want a sandwich, you get it from us, pal.
Yeah.
The sandwich
mafia. You ever think that, I think the saddest thing about subs or just deli sandwiches or subs is that eventually they're gone.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, that's the saddest thing about it. You ever think about, this is like, I've thought about this before. Like, what if you could eat a like the best sub you've ever had and it just like never ended and you never got full, would you just like never stop eating it? Or would you ever like take a break, get bored of it?
You're talking about like in one sitting or like for the rest of my life? I can just.
Well, I'm just saying like it would last exactly like however long you wanted it to last and you would never get too full.
I just feel like there'd be
would
like
you just like live it? Like, could you sit there and like,
yeah.
If it was possible, would you eat a deli sandwich continuously for like over a year straight?
But I can't eat anything else during that time. Is that like if I eat like a piece of cake, does the deli sandwich disappear?
I'm just saying like.
Well, who's going to say no to that? I have a never-ending, delicious, 0-calorie sub sandwich. I thought you meant more like how long could I sit there in one sitting and just keep chewing on a deli sandwich that somehow never made me full. And I was just thinking about like watching a football game for 3 hours and just keeping like, give me another one, give me another one, give me another one. That'd be awesome.
I mean, like if that was the case though, like
that'd be me with any food. Like, can I have a bottomless pot of spaghetti?
Would you ever consider like maybe like taking a vacation from work if you could just like eat a deli sandwich continuously for a week straight? Would you be like, I'm going to call off work for a week and I'm going to only eat this sub, watch TV or play games while I'm
so I can like stay home. I can work on my show and play PlayStation, but then I'm just going to eat this sub nonstop. I think that sounds like an awesome staycation.
Yes.
Yeah. Even if it was just a big long cold cut combo, it doesn't even have to be anything like what you're talking about. You know, the bougie herb bread or whatever. Like, just give me like a really long cold cut combo on like just a white roll.
Yes. And it just never ends or makes.
I'd be like Wimpy from, what was that, Popeye? Wimpy, you know, just like throwing the cheeseburgers down his gullet.
Down your gullet.
Gullet, yeah. Anyway, it's like almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
We're making up for last week, and we're 2 days late. This is like 9 days worth of podcast late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do better.
Yeah.
But we're doing our best. It's just like, you know,
we have lives.
There's stuff going on. You know, like I don't really have any other trips coming up. Although on August 8th.
Yeah.
I'm going to what?
On 8/8.
On 8/8, I'm going to see Better Than Ezra.
Oh.
with my wife and a friend of ours that is like way into like, you know, a lot of the like these 90s bands touring.
Yeah. Topping the college music charts this week was Better Than Ezra. Coming in second place, Ezra. Still my favorite Norm Macdonald joke, and I think I've already told it on the show before, but if you mention Better Than Ezra, that's the first thing I think of. So,
well, yeah, I mean, it's that should be fun.
Who's opening for? Did you catch that?
Oh, I don't know.
Who's like?
Doesn't matter.
Is Better Than Ezra kind of a one-hit wonder kind of?
Ezra is opening.
Yeah.
No, they had like 2 hits, I want to say. Like the
so then you need the opener has to be like one hit. It has to be like Semisonic.
Yeah.
That'd be a good pairing. Semisonic and Better Than Ezra, that would go good together, wouldn't it? I think.
I mean, I don't know what their other music sounds like.
Right. Harvey Danger, they could.
Oh no, Harvey Danger is like pretty good.
You know,
what's funny? They broke up a couple of years.
You know what's funny is I never liked that. They have that song, the one song that got famous, Flagpole Sitta. I never liked that song.
Oh, man,
and this guy in my Discord, Josh, I think he listens to the show. Hey, Josh. Josh told me, because I mentioned, I'm like, yeah, I don't like that song. He's like, I think you'd really like that album. You should listen to that whole album, he told me. And I was like, all right, because Josh never leads me down the garden path. Like, Josh talks. He's like E.F. Hutton. He talks, you listen. So he tells me, you should listen to this album. And it's funny, because I listened to the whole album, and then, like, in the context of the album, I thought Flagpole Said It was pretty good. It's like, it fits in, like, when you hear it in context of the whole album, it's like, oh no, that's actually a good song. I just didn't like hearing it on the radio. Yeah.
Well, maybe I never listened to the whole album.
You should. It's Where Have All the Merrymakers Gone is the name of the album.
I'll do that tomorrow. I'll download that.
You probably won't.
So I wanted to.
You don't
say
do anything
before we wrap it up to
do. So
what's that?
I said you don't do anything I tell you to do. Tim Rogers leaves a comment on a video that's not even yours about some city pop album, and you can't wait to get your yard work sneakers on fast enough to get out there with the lawnmower so you can listen to it.
Dude, when I drove back, I listened to that Modest Mouse album.
Yeah. Remember when you were going on that plane ride, and I was like, "Oh, you got to download this Wang Chung album and this Mr.
I
Mr.
had both
album?
of those on there, and I listened to the Mr. Mr. album.
Well, you must have hated it if you didn't bring it up. I'm just breaking your balls, man. I'm not upset about it. I just think it.
But I want to talk about Modest Mouse for a second.
Okay, sorry.
Because I listened to that album, and
this is a long drive for someone with nothing to think about.
Yeah, I didn't really care for it.
I get it.
Especially
if you like the newer stuff,
come to a
that
realization
stuff sounds
about Modest
pretty
Mouse
rough.
in general.
Yeah, you don't like Modest Mouse?
Well, no, I like them musically. I just kind of don't like how he sings.
He has a pretty unique voice.
The thing that blew my mind about that album,
more than anything, blew your mind,
is that it came out in 1996.
Yeah, because you thought it sounded older than that, or
no? I thought it sounded like, because Modest Mouse didn't have their big break until
like 2004,
until Float On came out in 2004.
Yeah,
and I was just surprised that they were around for so long before that even happened. And
I was surprised when they got
impressive.
on the radio, because they're, if you listen to, This Is a Long Drive, there's nothing really radio. Well, I could see maybe Dramamine, but in general, it's not really radio friendly music outside of a college radio station.
Well, I feel like it starts out pretty strong. The first 3 songs on it are really good. And I don't know if I was listening to some other version, because it's the song is 19 songs. This album is 19 songs.
It's too many. If they had taken that album and
it's
cut it down
it's almost
to 10
they
songs.
took one song and repeated it again several times.
Well, I don't know about
towards the end, it almost feels like they repeated it, but different. It had different parts in it.
I think they should have had a better producer that was okay, we're gonna take 10 or 12 of these, and that's gonna be your album.
Yeah.
What about? Did you listen to Lonesome Crowded West?
I didn't.
Okay. I still think you should try it.
But I
or don't.
I was impressed that album came out in 96, but I liked it musically.
Yeah.
But I just felt
voice.
like his his singing gets better as time goes on.
Sure.
It's not just because it's a lot of shouting.
True.
And I feel like he didn't shout as much in on later albums. And I can understand why. But
he was young and angry. Probably.
Yes.
I don't know that.
But
for a fact,
it's just just yelling nonsense most of the time.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk to you about it because, I know that you like the album, and I wish that I liked it more.
And you just wanted to tell me you think it sucks.
Well, I listened to it twice.
Well, listen, pal. I got rid of a whole box of CDs, and you wouldn't like what was in there. I kept New Adventures.
I want to know you to know that I tried.
I kept New Adventures in Hi-Fi. I kept that one.
Oh, good.
But
I'm glad.
I'm still going to listen to the rest of them. It's just I'll stream them. But New Adventures in Hi-Fi, that has earned a permanent place in my house.
That makes me really happy.
Yeah. Well, thank you for trying. Seriously.
Yes.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. If more people,
I'm going to download that Harvey Danger album.
If more people liked that album, they would have been famous in 1996 instead of 8 years later, right? So
yeah. I think it's really impressive because the thing is that Modest Mouse, from the era that they got popular, they were all often referred to as like an indie band.
Yeah.
And they were like around like so much longer than most of these.
Yeah, for sure.
Most of the people that fit in that same genre, and I think that that's like really impressive.
Yeah.
And on that note, like I'm going to recommend, because I think that it's very similar.
Yeah.
You should listen to like an album by Broken Social Scene.
Broken Social Scene.
Yeah,
well,
I think since you like Modest Mouse, I think that you will like Broken Social Scene. I like Broken Social Scene more.
Do you know the name of the album or?
You can do the self-titled or the one with is that You Forgot It in People? I think it's called.
I'll look it up.
It's whatever album has it's like their because their very first album was an instrumental, I think.
Oh,
I think You Forgot It in People is the one with whatever one has Anthems for a 17-year-old Girl on it.
Yeah. All right. I'll check it out.
Yes.
All right. Now it's 2 hours.
That pushed us over 2 hours.
That was your goal the whole time. That's what I think. I'm gonna get this bee up over 2 hours.
Hit that finish line.
Yeah.
All right.
No
that was for Yeet this week, but
that was episode 34. 34. I think.
I'm not actually who's a good basketball player is number 34? A good.
I don't know. I can't think of a single sports person with 34.
Was Charles Barkley number 34?
No idea.
Okay, Chuck Barkley.
Yeah, Chuck.
My son has a friend named Charlie. I'm like, is Chuck coming over today?
Yeah.
And so like I think it is either him. He's like, are we gonna call him Chuck now? I'm like, what's he gonna do about it? Because he's 8. What's he gonna do about it?
If my name was Charles, I'd be like, I would want to go by Chuck. Chuck's cool.
Yeah,
Chuck.
He goes by Charlie.
Oh, you're making.
But
you're making beef stew.
Chuck.
What kind of meat do you get for that? I get Chuck.
You get that's the best tacos are made out of like the chuck beef.
Are they?
I don't know.
Maybe. That sounds right. Probably.
Yeah.
Carne asada is probably Chuck.
The Chuck.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, that's episode 34. It's over.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Have a good week. You're supposed to say have a good week.
Have a good week.
Have a good week, everybody.
Have a good rest of your week.
Right. True. Point. Have a good Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And we'll see you again on Monday, I bet, probably. We hope.
Yes. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourselves.
Yes. Not too much, though. Not that much.
Don't go to jail or anything.
Yeah.